Hi again. I really hope you like this so far, baby. This will be the second part of the playthrough. Okay, so where we left off, I had just died. I got torn to pieces. So we get taken to this strange place. So we're gonna look around, see if we can find the answers. First off, we see this. Basically, as far as we know so far, it's this weird abandoned doll. Very intricate. It looks like a real person. Um, but that's all we can tell that is. Now, on the ground are these little creatures again, and they are actually called the messengers, and it'll come up like in text later on, like people will talk about it. But basically, this is where you choose your starting weapons. So I'm gonna go with a weapon made for skill, for finesse. Um, I'm actually going to choose the blunderbuss because it's better at knocking an enemy back. Okay, before I go further into that, let me actually read you the lore, or at least highlight some of the lore on those items. I think I can view them here. Here we go. Okay, blood vials. Once a patient has had their blood ministered, which is the transfusion you saw at the beginning, a unique but common treatment in Yarnum. Successful infusions recall the first and are all the more invigorating for it. No surprise that most Yarnumites, which are just Yarnum citizens, are heavy users of blood. More or less, this is saying that you can take any kind of blood now. Special blood is better, of course, but you can take blood and recover from it, which is a very weird. If you think about it, like if that was ever in any actual history where we started using blood as a healing mechanism, that'd just be so strange. Um, Quicksilver bullets I've read about. Okay, that's all I have of those. I will go ahead and equip my weapon, but I'm going to read you something in it first, if you don't mind. Um, Basically, the important part of this is concealing the weapon inside the cane and flogging the beast with the whip is partly an act of ceremony, an attempt to demonstrate to oneself that the bloodlust of the hunt will never encroach upon the soul. So what this tells us, besides the fact that, let me equip it, that this weapon has a whip form, which it does, which is really cool. I want one of these in real life. But, it tells us that there is something called the hunt, and during the hunt, we flog beasts, and there's something to do with bloodlust. So what we can assume from that is our character and all the other characters that have taken the blood will start to lust for blood. Will start to like want to seek out and kill creatures to get their blood. So the act of flogging the beast has become almost ceremonial to kind of like penance, like when people would flog themselves, but you flog the beast for some reason instead of yourself. I imagine that's because the beasts are deadly and dangerous, but it's to remind you that to not give in to the bloodlust. So that will come in later. Okay. Oh, I can't open this. Okay, well, I guess I can open it later. I was actually going to show you something in there, but yeah, I suppose because I died first, I can't. Alright, let's return to where we woke up. Okay, so this is pretty close to where we woke up. Right here is where we killed the beast, so we are a little bit further, and that is for a good reason I want to show you. We're going to go back and try to enter the room we woke up in.
Are you out on the hunt? Then I'm very sorry, but I cannot open this door. I am Yosefka. The patients here in my clinic must not be exposed to infection. I know that you hunt for us, for our town, but I'm sorry. Please. This is all that I can do.
Okay, now this is a bit interesting. So we meet this lady who is treating patients here, and she doesn't want us to come in case we carry some sort of disease. Now, that could simply be, like normal triages, like keeping well, not triage, but close enough. Normal, where you keep the sick away from possible infection. But I am curious if it's specifically related to our transfusion. But that will come up later.
Now, go. And good hunting.
So if we try to talk to her again, we'll get a similar response.
Are you still in need of something? But I have nothing more to offer. Please, try to understand my position. I can only pray for a fruitful hunt.
Okay. Let me actually check out this blood vial. Is there anything important in it? Okay. Well, basically, the more refined and the more you can do to not necessarily clean, but purify the blood, the more you will heal from it. So, all blood isn't equal. That's pretty much all that really tells us. Oh, let me also equip my gun. Something interesting. Normal bullets don't affect beasts in any way. Like, it just won't penetrate their skin. So we have to use quicksilver bullets, which is kind of interesting because mercury was commonly used to treat many different ailments, and it, like, unsuccessfully, of course, but, that was thought of as like a kind of a cure-all almost. So it's interesting that the only thing that affects them is mercury. Okay, so you can ignore the shiny thing. That's basically just to show you this guy killed you last time. And if you want to proceed, you better beat the guy who bested you, pretty much, to get your, the equivalent of souls. It's basically blood echoes in this game are your currency. They are your level up stuff. Pretty much blood echoes let you buy things and, yeah, stuff like that. Okay, so this is going to be a lot easier now that we actually have a weapon. Okay, let me actually read this one, because this one is quite interesting as well. Molotov cocktails. The important thing from this lore is here. Since the tragedy that struck Old Yarnum, fire has become a staple in beast hunts, and is thought to cleanse impurity. Certain types of beasts have an abnormal fear of flame. So, whatever these beasts are, fire hurts them quite well. And it also, like, whoever is hunting these beasts seems to have a very ceremonial, ritualistic way to go about it, with fire thought to purify the blood and the beast. And I mean, it kills it, but it's purification. That will come up later too. But it's purification instead of just extermination. That's quite an interesting differentiation, if you will. I'm actually going to... Okay, now that I've activated the second lamp, I will return to the dream, and that door will probably be open. Now, this is very game mechanic-y, but since it shows it this way, it's probably something like our character sees this weird lamp and just sees these weird creatures around it and just kind of feels they're going to return. If you hadn't actually died, it would still say return to the hunter's dream, but it would be like, I guess you would just feel like this would be something you're supposed to do, and you would just feel led to do it. But at this point, since we've been to the hunter's dream, we have this feeling that we know we're going back there if we do something with this lamp. So we're going to do that. And the reason I'm trying to describe the mental process behind my character's actions is I think the way From Software, the people who made this, design the games, there is not a single thing that's in here by accident. If an enemy drops an item, there's a reason. You can get pebbles, for example, from crows, from carrion crows, which normally eat flesh of, anything really. But it's weird to think, why are crows carrying pebbles? But if you look at the pebbles, they actually look like fossilized eyes. and carrion crows eat eyes. That makes... Oh, I just healed by accident. Whoops. That makes a lot of sense. So everything in this game can be taken quite literally, and basically in a world that's very much like maybe, I wouldn't say medieval, but maybe Renaissance Europe, maybe, but like everybody's dead, kind of. Like that'd be the kind of setting. So the normal laws of physics, gravity, and everything we know do apply here, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here we meet the first person we can actually talk to.
Aha! You must be the new hunter. Welcome to the hunter's dream. This will be your home for now. I am... Gammon. Friend to you hunters. You're sure to be in a fine haze about now, but don't think too hard about all of this. Just go out and kill a few beasts. It's for your own good. You know, it's just what hunters do. You'll get used to it. This was once a safe haven for hunters. A workshop where hunters used blood to enhance their weapons and flesh. We don't have as many tools as we once did, but you're welcome to use whatever you find. Even the doll, should it please you.
Well, that was perfectly normal. So yeah, this guy's a bit creepy, but so apparently he used to be a hunter, and he guides new hunters through the nightmare, whatever that means. I think that's what he said. And I do wonder at the way he phrased and whispered, "You can use the doll if it pleases you." That's a little disturbing, although it will make more sense later. I do still wonder if he's just a creeper. I'm not really sure. But yeah, okay, so this is about the 12-minute mark, so I'm going to go ahead and cut off the second episode here. And I really, really hope you're liking this, Nana. And I don't know how quickly I'll make these, so feel free to let me know if it's too slow-paced. It will be picking up the next episode, though. I love you, baby.